Hello and welcome to another live English lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel and with me, Richie. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe. And as always, if you want to follow the lesson in the live chat section, because that is where the action happens. And in today's lesson, we are going to look at paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing and why it is important and how to do it well. It is a skill that we've looked at before, but it's time that we look at it again. Irina F, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson and thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. And privyet. Yes, privyet. Privyet. I think I'm saying it right. Okay, so far this week we've looked at a few things. Actually, I kind of need to remind myself. What did we look at? We looked at the preposition to yesterday. Do you need it? When do you need it? For example. And that I think that was quite a successful lesson in the end. What else did we do actually yesterday? No, on Monday. That's it. I can't remember now. What did we do on Monday? Leondina says, hi, Richard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Leondina. Buon pomeriggio, and welcome to today's lesson. Monday, we did... Ah, yes. Do I need an adverb or an adjective? That's what we did on Monday. That's correct. Okay, guys. So that's what we've looked at so far this week. I hope you guys are doing well in Malta. For those of you who are actually attending school, I hope you guys are doing well. For those of you who are currently having to have lessons online, I hope you're doing well as well. It is difficult times with COVID, and hopefully the online lessons are going well for those of you who are having them. I would say from a teacher's point of view, regarding online lessons, Zoom, Microsoft, they're good platforms. And I think in the future, these sort of platforms are going to be used more. And I think it's fair to say that during COVID-19, these platforms have proven to be very useful, especially in terms of delivering lessons. What I would say is that even though they are really good platforms and we can give lessons, nothing that is online can ever truly replace physical lessons in a classroom and having the experience of going to a country, visiting the place, enjoying being in that place and meeting new people physically. And I hope that even though all these online lessons have proven to be useful during COVID-19, I look forward to the day where people feel comfortable enough to, really travel again properly. Because you know what it is, there's always the other element of learning a language, and that is being and living in a place, because it makes a really big difference. Alida, good afternoon. Buenos dias. Welcome to today's lesson. It makes such a big difference when you actually are in a place, you live it, you begin to grow into that culture. It makes a really big difference. And I look forward to the day when people can really return to having the type of lessons that people really want, and that is ultimately having a physical experience in a place like Malta. I mean, at the moment the weather is improving. I think it's around 20 degrees. Great time of year to go outside, go for walks. I mean, it's February and it's nice weather. And come I mean, look, if you have a wetsuit, you can swim all year round. The earliest I have ever swam. Sorry, no, the earliest I have ever swum, sorry, is in April. That's the earliest. The sea is cold, but the weather's usually good. So you're coming up to that time of year already where you can begin to actually, you know, go for a swim potentially. I wouldn't do it in February, it would still be a bit too cold. So let's get into today's lesson. So paraphrasing, guys, a really important technique. Um, Now, there's lots of reasons why we need to learn how to do it. Sandra says, "Hi, Richard. Good afternoon." Hi, Sandra. Guten Tag. Um, for instance, if you are, I mean, the reason why this is something that people learn a lot when doing something like the IELTS exam is because of the word count. And if you're ever having to write anything within a word count, or for that matter, you just want to write less, paraphrasing is really important. It helps us understand how we can remove unnecessary language. How can we say something a bit more exact? Or how can we say something in a different way? So this is an important technique. So I'm just going to start off with a simple example. Okay, so let's go over this. Okay. But let's say we take a sentence like this: the old red car with its. Let me just post it again because there's a typo. Here we go. The old red car with its fatigue figure and dusty windows looked past its best. Now, you will say here, okay, there's quite a few words. There's a few interesting adjectives. We've got old, which is a, well, we know what old means. But then we've got words like fatigue, for example. Fatigue is another word for tired. Um, Figure in this case would be the body of the car. Then you've got words like dusty windows. And obviously, these are effectively, if it's dusty windows, you would say unclean windows, really. And then looked past its best. Okay, if it's past its best, it means it it needs work. Okay. So you might look at that and you say, okay, there's two ways we could go about it. We could try and rewrite the sentence and change all the adjectives, or we could try and remove all the adjectives because sometimes the adjectives are just unnecessary, depending on what we're looking at. We could even change the order of words around. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I want to rewrite this sentence. I could say, the so let's say I wanted to really remove a lot of words. What I could do is I could summarize the meaning of that sentence in as few words as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, which is the red car is in need of repair. Meaning, clearly, with that one word, repair, it tells me that this car is potentially old, it's got problems, it doesn't look new, it doesn't look good. And that is what we could do if we wanted to remove the majority of the adjectives. But I've said the same thing in less words, effectively. Okay. So what I would like you guys to do is we're going to start off with a nice, easy task. We're going to do something similar, and this time I would like you guys to have a go. Okay, see what you would go with, and then we'll go into an activity. So I just want to see what your starting point is. So have a go at trying to uh, go about with this sort of sentence. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's see what you guys come out with. The old blue house with its fatigue figure and dusty windows looked past its best. So I've just changed car to house. We now have something like this. Let's see what you guys start off with. I want to make sure we start off with something a little bit simpler before getting into the harder stuff. So let's see how you guys do. The old blue house with its fatigue figure and dusty windows looked past its best. Let's see what you guys come out with in terms of paraphrasing. So you want to say the same thing, but in fewer words. Now, well, ideally fewer words. If you want, you could add words. It still would be paraphrasing. Now, I've given you an example, and I've only changed one word, and that is from car to house. Let's see what you guys write. The blue house needs to be repaired. Exactly. Um, that would be a very good paraphrasing sentence that says exactly the same thing. And we've taken out a lot of what you would call perhaps unnecessary language. So let's move on, and let's move on to how we can go about this. So in this case, I'm going to give you guys a choice, and you need to tell me which option is the better option. Sandra says the blue house needs to be renovated. Nicely worded there, Sandra. Renovated is a good alternative. Yeah, it says the same thing. It needs to be repaired. It needs to be modernized. So well done. Good stuff. Okay, so let's go for this. Okay, this is task number one. Okay, so you have this headline here: police, and then you've got the double colon: man breaks into Austin, meat business, comma naps. Now, naps means sleeps. Okay, so in this case, you have a man who has broken into an Austin meat business and sleeps. This Austin, I think, is probably going to be Austin in Texas, I'm guessing. So you've got two options, and you need to tell me which option is the correct option. Okay, so that's the headline. This is what the original headline, and then this is what the original sentence says. Okay, so the original sentence says Austin, Texas, police have arrested a 28-year-old man who they say broke into an Austin business, stole a couple of sausages, and fell asleep. So that's the sentence. Now, which sentence is the correct alternative? It's the paraphrase one. What you need to tell me here is which one says the same thing, but has actually changed some of the language and the order of words. So this is option one, okay? And option two is this, okay? Now, like I said, guys, you're looking for the one that paraphrases. Let's see. One second. You got A and B. Remember, the original says police arrested a 28-year-old man who they say broke into Austin business, stole a couple of sausages, and fell asleep. Option one is A. A 20-year-old man in Austin, Texas, didn't break into a business and run like most criminals. Instead, he took several sausages, then simply fell asleep inside the business. Option two, a 28-year-old man in Austin, Texas, didn't break into a business and run like most criminals. Instead, he took several sausages, then simply fell asleep inside the business. The question is, which one does the best job at trying to paraphrase the original sentence? Which one does the best? Oh, wait a minute. No, I think I've said the same thing twice. Have I said the same thing twice? They're the same. Yes, you are correct. It looks like I've gave the... Yes, I did it twice, didn't I? Okay, 1 second. Oh, apologies for that. One second. I'm just having a bit of problems uploading this. Okay. Okay. So that's option B. Apologies. I was having problems there for some reason. So B is a 28-year-old man in Austin, Texas, broke into a butcher's and took several sausages before falling asleep. And then you've got A above. And then we're sort of thinking, okay, which one has perhaps paraphrased the original one? Okay, so Leondina says B is the better option. If you agree with Leondina, let me know. Perhaps you agree. Yeah, apparently these are all true stories as well. I'm not sure why someone would fall asleep when stealing. It's not. It's not a great idea. Sandra says A. Okay. So we've got B and we've got A. Let's see. Can someone come in with the decisive decision here? Police arrested a 28-year-old man who they say broke into an Austin business, stole a couple of sausages, and fell asleep. Let's see. Both could be, says Alida. Okay, well, the answer here is, I would say the best answer here is going to be B. A is probably still a little bit too similar. If you look at the language, they haven't really played around with the language too much. It's very similar to the original text. B, again, I suppose you could say the language again is fairly similar, but this time I think we've cut out some unnecessary words. So the answer for this one is B. But I would say this is probably one of those where it's easy to be slightly unsure. Okay, let's go with the next one. And I think the next one will probably be a little bit easier to detect what the difference is going to be. So, number 2. Okay, this is the headline. Police say man fled crash to avoid yelling girlfriend. Okay, that sounds quite interesting as a headline. The actual original sentence that follows is as follows. You've got police in New Jersey say a man told officers he fled the scene of an auto accident because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him. In case there are some new words here, yelling is another word for shout or scream. Good afternoon, Roberto. Thank you for joining. You've got deal, which is to, well, handle or manage or face. You've got a few options there. And auto accident, in case you're unsure, auto accident would be a car accident. Now, what are the two options? Option A. Okay, and option B. So option A, you've got a man in New Jersey. So a man in New Jersey seemed to think leaving the scene of a car crash and being arrested was a better option than listening to his girlfriend yell. He told the police he fled because he didn't want to listen to her yell at him. Option B, New Jersey police state a man said he left the scene of a car accident because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him. If we look at the original, we've got police in New Jersey say a man told officers he fled the scene of an auto accident because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him. Which one paraphrases the original in a better way? We've got to also think about, okay, which one starts off similar, which one uses slightly different language. So far, you're going for B. Okay, we'll see if you guys are correct. Roberto, Sandra, if you'd like to come in with your answers, do you agree with Leondina or do you agree with Alida? With this one afterwards, I think what I might do is, depending on what your answers are, I might break this down a little bit further, just to demonstrate and just to show where the differences might be. Okay, but I'll give you guys another 30 seconds, and then I'll let you know what the answer is. I would say the headline is quite funny. I'm guessing this is based off a true story. So, okay. Roberto says it seems to me B. Okay, so all of you are saying B. Right. So as you've said, B, let's compare B and let's compare the original. Okay, we'll do this line by line. Okay, so that's the original and this is B. The question we are asking ourselves here, is this correct? So we've got police in New Jersey say the man told officers he fled the scene of an auto accident because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him. Okay, B, New Jersey police. Okay, so this is similar here. They've started, the subject is still police. The subject hasn't changed. State, say, okay, that is a synonym. Sandra says, sorry, but I'm a little lost with this task. Not to worry, Sandra, I'm just going to explain it now. Okay, so over here, we're just comparing the original text and with your answer B. We're looking for the one that has said the same thing, but using different language. Which one is the better version of paraphrasing? Now here, the structure is the same. The subject they've started off with police, say, state, these are synonyms. A man said, told, yes, can you see here? Police in New Jersey say a man told officers. Okay, if we look at this, if we look at B, we've got New Jersey police state a man said. This is really similar language. They've used synonyms, but they're saying the exact same thing so far in terms of word order. He fled, he left the scene of an accident, scene of a car accident, because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him, because he didn't want to deal with his girlfriend yelling at him. So unfortunately here, I don't think we can say the answer can be B. Yes, they've used synonyms, but everything is too similar. The structure is the same. The order of words is the same. Yes, they've used synonyms, but these are real direct synonyms. This doesn't feel very different. Now, if we look at A, and I'm just going to take the first part. I don't even need to take the second part of A. Okay. Now let's compare. Again, if we look at the original, it's got police in New Jersey say a man told officers. Here, this is very clear, your subject and your object of your sentence. Now, all of a sudden, if we look at A, the subject is different. A man in New Jersey seemed to think leaving the scene of a car accident and being arrested was a better option than listening to his girlfriend yelling. Now, this is interesting. What you can see here is that the original subject, police, has been removed from this sentence. All of a sudden, in the original one, we've got man, which is the object. All of a sudden, this man has now become the subject of our sentence. And we've got a slightly different middle bit. And this is the first clue. When paraphrasing, it's sometimes a good idea to think about, okay, should I change my subject and my object around? And this is what the person has done over here. Okay, so let's try again. Let's go again. And let's see if we can get the next, let's see if we can do better with the next one. Remember, guys, one of the key elements of paraphrasing is the ability to change the object and subject around, but you're still talking about the same thing. You are still saying something with the same meaning, but the expression of it is different. So let's go again. Okay. So, 3. So this is the title, Bear Attacks Man with Blueberries. This is the original statement. Okay, so option 1, A. Okay, and option B. Okay. Which one is, let's see. Okay, and this is B. So again, guys, which one does a better job at paraphrasing? You've got the original, which is park officials reported that a man was attacked by a brown bear because he had blueberries in his pockets. Option A says the park officials in Vancouver announced that a man was attacked by a brown bear because he was carrying blueberries. Option B, a man was attacked by a brown bear, and park officials believe the attack was due to the man having had blueberries in his jacket. Alida says B. Roberta says A is active, B is passive. It makes more sense to me, B, because here the emphasis is on the man. Okay, very nicely done. And all of you are saying B. Excellent. Well done, guys. The answer is B. And this is a really important thing. When paraphrasing, it's not just about um, changing your adjectives for synonyms. That's not enough. When paraphrasing, we need to change word order. We need to perhaps reduce the number of words. And we also need to rethink about our word, about our subject and our object of our sentence. It's very common that we end up changing the object and the subject around sometimes. So that is key. So I'll write down the key steps. Okay. 1. Now, when you go, I'm using the word consider because it's just a better word to use, but it means think about. Consider changing the order of words, and especially the order of your subject and object. Okay. 2, see if you can remove unnecessary language. Okay, not needed. Okay, language not needed. Language that isn't needed, or maybe you need to add language. So it could go either way. Sometimes you might need to add language, sometimes you might need to take away language. And three, yes. And three, yes, synonyms help, but it's not enough. Just changing the adjectives or changing the verbs, but saying the exact same thing in the same word order is not enough for paraphrasing language. You need to do the other elements. So these are the three key steps you guys need to do when trying to develop your paraphrasing language. So let's go for one more, and we'll see how you guys get on. Let's go with. Let's go with this one. So this time I'm not going to give you the options here. I want to see what you guys come out with, because this is going to be the final activity. So we're now on to 4. Okay, so you've got the videos of acorns dancing has racked up more than 400,000 views since it was posted on YouTube last week. And the plumber says he's already been approached in public for his autograph. So that's the original sentence. Let's see how you guys do. Racked up, by the way, if you rack up something, it means it has the same meaning of like collecting or um, building or simply getting something. An amount, an amount of something. Okay, that's what rack up or racked up in this case is. Okay, racked up. Should use the past tense really. Okay, so yeah, when you go with the word rack up, the phrasal verb rack up, it means to collect, build, or you get an amount of something. In this case, 400,000 views. So here, the videos of acorns dancing. Now, that's the videos here of acorns dancing. That's the subject, the videos. The object is going to be more to do with probably 400,000 views, potentially. That could be the object of the sentence. You've got other things as well. The plumber, that comes later on. So you can play around with the order over here. Um, yeah, I mean, in the first sentence, 400,000 views, that's going to be one possibility of an object of your sentence. You've also got, you could play around with the post on YouTube. as well. So you've got different choices. You don't have to start with the videos of acorns dancing. If you're feeling confident and trying to do paraphrasing really well, I would advise you not to start with the video of acorns dancing. You might want to start with, for instance, a plumber named Acorn had a post on YouTube that racked up 400,000 views, for example. So there's different ways that you can go about this. Alida, let's see what you've gone with. The plumber of the YouTube video, which has collected more than 400,000 views so far, has said that he has already been asked for autographs. Alida, really well done. I think that's an excellent attempt at paraphrasing. I like the fact you changed the subject. Very good. I like the fact you went with collected as well. That's a nice, like I said, synonyms are not enough, but they do help, and it's a good one to use anyway. I like the fact that you've changed the position of where you've decided to put 400,000 views as well. And you have shortened the word count as well. So that's a really, really good example of of paraphrasing. So very well done, Alida. It's not an easy task, paraphrasing. It can be a little bit confusing. It can be a little bit different. So well done. Give yourself a pat on the back, because I know paraphrasing is difficult. And I know some of you today might have struggled with this language skill. If you would like me to do more videos on paraphrasing, and perhaps you want me to break it down even further, let me know in the comment section of the video, and like the video as well. Let's see what other answers other students would like to come out with. But like I said, guys, I mean, look, if you want me to do something like this again, I can. And if you want me to give you to make it very academic based, like what you would do at university, I would also be more than happy to do so. There are many layers to paraphrasing. It's a very difficult technique to do in your own language, let alone a second language. But it's really important to do. And it's also very good in terms, it does get your brain thinking, because you in English. That's the other thing about this. When you try to paraphrase, you have to think in English. You can't think in your first language, because it's not going to work. You're trying to change something already in English. So you have to think in English in order to try and change the wording. So that's the other thing that's a real benefit, actually, of paraphrasing. The real benefit is that it gets you thinking in English. And that's one of the hardest things to do, actually. And this is something you will find. Now, when you're at a low level, it's easy to be lost with the language. But as you get better, you will still be lost in different ways. Especially when it comes to trying to express yourself. There's a very frustrating stage, and some of you might be in that. It starts at intermediate, you begin to feel it big time at upper intermediate, and advanced you will really feel it. And that is, you know a lot of English. You have a good range, you have a good amount of English, but you still cannot express yourself in the way you really want to. Sandra says, sorry, I have to leave. Bye and good evening. Thanks a lot. You're welcome, Sandra. Thank you so much for joining the lesson today and participating. And thank you to everybody who participated in today's lesson. Sandra, Alida, Irina F, Leondina, and Roberto, and anyone else who participated. I am aware that this can be a difficult skill. It is difficult to try and teach this on YouTube in a live chat section as well. This is not easy to do. It's much easier with an actual whiteboard in an actual classroom. This is difficult anyway, and without a whiteboard, without an actual proper classroom, it's even harder. Leondina says, having collected more than 400,000 views on YouTube, the plumber said he has been addressed for autographs. Really good sentence. I would say instead of addressed, I would say, let's see. What other words could you use? I can see why you've gone with addressed, but it's not necessarily the right alternative. What would be a good synonym that you could use for this particular one? Hard one, actually. I'm not sure. We can leave it at addressed. Oh, a good one other than approached. I can't think of it. I can't think of it, to be honest, Leondina. I think that, but there's something about that choice of verb that I think we could do better on, but I can't think of it at the moment. But really well done, Leondina. Everything else about that is really good. I like what you did, changing the subject around. Excellent work. Alida, thank you very much, and I'm glad that you found the lesson interesting. Hope to see you soon, maybe tomorrow as well, Alida. Roberto says, I think it's interesting, this playing around phrase. I like it. Maybe it takes more time. Thank you, Richie. Yep, it does take more time. This is never going to be one lesson. It's something you have to repeat and repeat. You're welcome, Irina F. Have a good evening. And you too, Leondina. So, guys, thank you so much. Please join me tomorrow. It's going to be Thursday, 3 o'clock. And please join me for another live English lesson. Tomorrow's topic is going to be, if I just remind myself, story time, descriptive word building. So make sure you join me for that. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, be safe, and bye for now.